Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are all well. I'm happy to welcome you back to the Voice of London channel for another topic under the title of Marriage Between Faith and Tradition. Allah said, and of His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them, and He placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for people who give thought. Surah Al-Rum, verse 21. And He also said, and it is He created man from water and appointed relatives and in-laws for him. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, O young man, whoever among you can afford it, let him get married, for it is more effective in lowering the gaze and guarding chastity. And whoever cannot, then he should fast, for it will be restraint for him. Marriage is the strongest and holiest contract and covenant between man and woman. Allah said, and how can you take it back when you have been intimate with each other and who have taken a firm pledge from you? Surah Nisa, verse 21. Marriage has got great positives. Chastity, augmentation of human reproduction for the nation, maintenance, care and support of the woman, achieving tranquility and psychological happiness, avoidance of mixing genealogy, prevention of fornication, sedition and diseases. Unfortunately, marriage has become very problematic, and it has turned from affection and mercy into war and hate between the spouses because of ignorance, bad morals, and the absence of religious faith. Then the divorce increased, the values of marriage died, and a new and bad phenomena spread like marital infidelity, illegal children, and marriage to infidels and polytheists. This led to Muslim abstention from marriage, which resulted in the spread of adultery, spinsterhood, and genealogy mixing, which brought corruption in the Islamic community and falling into temptation. The most prominent reasons for the failure of marriage: the absence of communication between the spouses, financial crisis, greed and lack of contentment, a lack of trust between husband and wife, variation in cultural level, social status and psychological behavior, imitating the atheists and the polytheists, absence of religious restraint. These are some suggestions that may help reduce this phenomenon. Staying away from negative and backward traditions, reducing underage marriage and fighting it, customary marriage and temporary marriage, no interference from the spouse family in their problems, except in good faith and not inciting one to the other, using civilized dialogue and avoiding violence and conflict, refer to Islamic law and follow its rules, regulations and legislations, and adhering to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in relation to marriage. Using patience, sacrifice and kindness. It was narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha that the Prophet ﷺ said, verily kindness is not to be found in anything but it adorns it, and it is not removed from anything but it makes it defective. Focus on the positives and virtues and ignore negatives and shortcomings. Allah said, and do not forget generosity among yourselves. Surely Allah sees what you do. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 237. On one hand, marriage tradition and customs differ from one society to the other in the Islamic world. There are good traditions and customs and there are bad ones. Everything that conforms to the principle of Islamic law must be upheld, and everything that contradicts it must be fought. And the lack of keenness on this has led to the spread of heresy, ignorance and corruption. Islam is not customs and traditions, but rather it is religion and law. And some people think that these bad and stray traditional customs are from Islam, and Islam is innocent from them, like the wolf's innocence from the blood of Yusuf alayhi salam. And among them, forcing the girl to marry without her consent, which is forbidden by Islam. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, a previously married woman should not be married until her verbal consent has been sought, and a virgin should not be married until her permission has been sought. They said, O Messenger of Allah, what is her permission? He said, when she remains silent. Likewise, the phenomenon of buying and selling girls in the name of marriage to pay off debts and making money by the guardians or some mafias that are behind the kidnapping, rape and killing of some minors or underage girls or those unable to defend themselves in some Muslim countries. Also the underage marriage, which is still prevalent in the Islamic world and in some countries of the world. This has a negative impact on the girl's mental, physical and psychological health. Some Muslims scholars have forbidden setting the age of marriage by believing it opposes the Quran and Sunnah. But others say that marrying a girl before 18 years is forbidden. On the other hand, Islam did not command or encourage polygamy, but it licensed it and legalized it and made provisions for it, controls and conditions. Scholars consider that a single wife is the origin and that polygamy is the exception, while others say that the origin is the multiplicity and that the exception is the one. As for the mixed marriage between Muslims of all races, it is positive and beneficial for this ummah, as it strengthens affection, gathers people and renews blood. Furthermore, it increases religious, social and cultural ties between Muslims. Allah said, O mankind, we have created you male and female and appointed your races and tribes that you may know one another. Surely the noblest among you in the sight of Allah is the most God-fearing. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware. Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13. So Islam permitted Muslims to marry the people of the book, which are the Christians and the Jews, but he prohibited marriage to the unbelievers and the polytheists. Allah said, today the good things are made lawful for you, and the food of the ones whom the book was brought is lawful to you, and your food is made lawful to them, and so are the believing women in wedlock, and in wedlock women of the ones to whom the book was brought even before you, when you have brought them their rewards in wedlock, other than in fornication, neither taking them to yourselves as mates. Nisa, verse 25. And he also said, and do not marry polytheistic women until they believe, and a believing slave woman is better than a polytheist, even though she might please you. And do not marry polytheistic men until they believe, and a believing slave is better than the polytheist, even though he might please you. Those invite to the fire, but Allah invites to paradise and to forgiveness by His permission. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 221. The Muslims should not imitate the people of the book with the system of marriage and its laws. This is invalid and forbidden. Abdullah ibn Amr reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, he is not one of us who resembles other than us. Do not resemble the Jews nor the Christians. Said Islam is always superior, should never be surpassed. He also said there is no marriage without the permission of a guardian and two competent witnesses. This is related to the conditions of the validity of the contract. It is permissible for a woman to attend her written marriage contract beside her husband and between her guardian and the two competent witnesses, but dressed according to Islamic law, in order to express her acceptance of this marriage. From some rights of the husband over his wife to obey him but without falling into disobedience to Allah or what He had forbidden. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, no obedience to any created being if that means disobedience to the Creator. Looking after him as much as she can willingly, not under coercion, adorning her husband, caring for him and being good company to him, looking after his money and herself in his absence. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the best of your women is the one when her husband looks at her, she brings pleasure to his heart, and when he orders her, she obeys him, and when he is absent, she will preserve herself and his money. From the wife's right over her husband, supporting her financially as much as possible, good cohabitation with her, avoiding objecting her to harm or insult, or taking her money forcibly, fulfillment her condition to him, adornment for her, and preserving her religion, her honor, and her covenants of protection, helping her at home to raise children and carry out all house duties like maintenance, cooking, and cleaning. Messenger of Allah said, the best of you are the best to their wives. And Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu said, he honors them the generous and insults them the vile. And I like to be generous and being defeated than being a winner and vile. That's what Ibn Yazid reported, that he asked Aisha radiallahu anha about what the Messenger of Allah was doing at home. She replied, he would be in the profession of his family, and if he heard the call to prayer, he would come out. The husband is the guardian of the family and the wife is in charge of the house. And marriage is a shared partnership between both of them to build a happy family based on affection and mercy between them, and raising their children on good character, love, and Islamic values. So their starch improves, they are psychologically settled, and the society would succeed, and the goal of marriage will be fulfilled. So this nation will rise. Also, the Islamic nation must strive to achieve justice and equality between husband and wife within the family. The relationship between husband and wife should be of integration, not conflict. Also, some of the misconceptions about marriage, which are the source of lost and backward traditions and customs, must be corrected. And some of the restrictions imposed by society on women must be broken, and that were not set by Islamic law, that recognize the participation of women in the Muslim community as being half of the society, and the digestion of these legitimate rights will lead to backwardness in the civil, social, and economic growth of this society, which will hinder the achievement of human dignity for women that Islam has given them. Allah said, and women shall have rights similar to the rights against them. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 228. And the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, women are the twin halves of man. And finally, Islamic marriage should be subject to Islamic law with its provisions, regulations, and laws, and stay clear of stray, corrupt, and unjust traditions and customs. And that its slogan should be affection and mercy, in order to be a prolonged, blessed, and happy marriage under the law and sunnah of Allah and His Messenger. Allah give us enough iman and strength for men to be good to their wives and for women to be good to their husbands, and guide us to the right path so that we can be the best we can be. Before I leave you, I ask you kindly to subscribe in my channel and press the like button if you like the topic, and don't forget to send me your comments. استودعكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه. To the next episode, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.